Big topic for me this week for Google has to do with Stadia. Now, if you're not familiar with Stadia, it's Google's cloud-based platform that is geared for gaming and is them trying to compete with Xbox and PlayStation. And pretty much what they're saying is instead of you spending the money on these $300-400 consoles, well, we can give you the same quality without all that. And they think they can do it. So they had their press conference because, people have been waiting ever since they made the announcement that they was coming out with it to kind of get more detail on it. And they brought it out. So let's go ahead and start with a simple fact. So right now, if you want to jump on board with what they consider the Founders Edition package, you get a Stadia controller, which is $69 if you were to buy it outright right now. Chromecast Ultra, which you can buy right now separately for $70 at Best Buy. 3 months of Stadia Pro, which would be $10 a month afterwards for their Pro package. Destiny 2 game that will be coming out. And all this would be for $129. So basically what Google's wanting people to do is jump on board now, sign up, and for $129, you'll get all that. And like I said, as far as that controller, or Founders Edition controller, which will come in a black color. Well, a color that's not going to be released to the masses. Now, as far as Stadia in general, what are they looking to do? Basically, they're using their Chrome browser to allow you to play games. Simple. That's the simplest way possible. But instead of just playing these rinky-dink games that you can play on your phone, they're believing they can bring the same quality of gaming that people are experiencing on the Xbox and PlayStation 4, basically the Chrome browsers. And we're not talking about games like, no one cares about. We're talking about like big titles. And they're pitching that they can bring this high quality without you spending a lot of money on consoles. And really, it comes down to your connection speed. Those with higher connection speeds of 35 megabytes per second and higher will get 4K gaming with up to 60 FPS and 5.1 surround sound. Now, if your connection speeds drop to around 20 megabytes per second, you'll go from 4K to 1080p. And if it drops below 10, your quality will drop to 720p. And it'll go from surround sound to regular stereo sound. Now, I see this having an opportunity to succeed because this means that people can jump on board gaming for little or no setup at all. All you need is a Chromecast Ultra, which a lot of people have already. But if you don't, again, it's $70 at Best Buy. Stadia controller or a supported controller, because they said that you'll be able to use any Xbox controller or PlayStation controller to play a game on your computer, Chromebook, and/or tablet, as long as you're using a Chrome browser, as well as a keyboard and mouse. But you look at how much that costs. The controller, $65. That is cheaper than what you're going to spend for a console out there, even used. If you happen to catch a used PlayStation 4 somewhere, you're looking at least $150, $200. That's not including what you want to pay for the game to play with it. And then you gotta take the time to download games, because when I decided to pick up a PlayStation 4 and try gaming again, and I was used to, back when I had Madden and NCAA, putting the DVD game or the DVD in and let's go, and that wasn't the case. You spend literally hours doing installation and updates, and that's just to get your console ready to play the newest games. You haven't even started with the games yet. And then when you get to the game, your game gotta download, and you gotta wait for that and wait for the updates. And then you gotta go through all these different packages and decide whether or not you wanna add all these add-ons and stuff. And for someone who just wanna get into play, it's like you spent 2 or 3 hours just trying to get in there and get going. And someone like me who haven't gamed in a while is like, you know what, I'm taking this thing back. And I end up taking it back. I'll say, you know what, I'm done. I took it back. So for me, this actually is something I'm actually interested in because, yeah, I can pick up a controller and start playing. When I'm at the house, I can play on my TV or my Chromecast, or if I'm on the go, I can pick up my tablet and play on the airplane or at the airport. If you at work and in the break room, as long as you have a Pixel 3 or Pixel 3a or higher, you'll be able to use your controller and play on your phone. And I'm pretty sure it's going to come to other phones soon. So, yeah, this is something that I think is going to be appealing to a lot of people. And if Google can actually live up to what they're promising and actually bring these high quality games in at what the quality they promise they can bring it at, this is a dunner for a lot of people. Because, again, it don't take much to jump on board. But obviously the devil's going to be in the details. How much is it going to cost to get these games? How much is it going to cost to get started? Now, they're promising right now that for their pro package, pretty much their subscription, it's $10 a month. Now, I think we're going to learn more what we're going to expect to see out of this $10 a month, because it's no accident that Google dropped this right before E3, which kicks off next week. And I think we're going to see all of the other licenses and games that are going to come on board Stadia. But man, they can get the Maddens, they can get the newest like Street Fighters, the newest Mortal Kombat, the newest titles that as soon as they drop the PlayStation, Xbox, they can get it to drop on Stadia. And it's gonna be something that's worth seeing. And yeah, I mean, I think Google can do it. The question is, will they be able to do it? Because anyone who knows Google, Google come out with a lot of ideas of what they can do. And they do have the ability, they have the money, they have the technology, they have the people that can do it. But a lot of times, I've said in the past, Google just, when it comes to something like this, they half-step it, and their half-stepping end up taking something that could be a great idea and just make it not worth enjoying. If they can avoid that, if they can go all in and really put forth all of their money, their focus, and really make this work like they're advertising, it can be a game changer, and I think will be. And I'm gonna kind of be optimistic here for what I'm hoping to see in the coming months for Google. Looking at what they did with the Pixel 3a. Now, the Pixel 3a was not revolutionary at all. When you look at it compared to the Pixel 3X, it's pretty much almost the same device. I know people will try to say it's a cheaper device, but if outside of the Pixel 3 having glass and 3A being plastic, and I guess the internals, when you compare the two, it's pretty much the same device. And the fact that they was able to take that and drop that so everyone can enjoy it and it be a smooth device opens up the door what I think they can do in future months. And what I'm hoping they are going to be able to do, especially with the Pixel 4, is really blow the lid off and not put out the phones that we see in the past. These phones that could be something, but they left something out. If they're wanting to make these phones, these devices be the centerpiece, the forefront, what they're putting out there as what people should gravitate to, be an experience and enjoy, especially the Stadia content on, I'm hoping that means they're going to be bringing the hardware that can handle it. And I understand what they're saying. They're trying to prove the fact that software, if created properly, can overcome hardware that may not be as top-notch or as powerful. And I know they're doing a good job with that. But imagine if you finally took that and paired it with some powerful hardware what could people get and how could people really enjoy this? It's going to be interesting to see where we go with that. What are your thoughts on today's topics? Post your comments, and thanks you again for joining me for another neXup podcast. Have a great week. I'm out.